Hey everybody, it's Brandon, and we're back again with the MMBC Podcast, and I'm right here with my good buddy, Pastor Tommy Anthony. Say hi, Pastor.
Hello, everyone.
What an eventful week it has been. Let's start from the beginning.
Well, we had our 87th anniversary celebration. The church has had 87 years of productive, beautiful ministry, and of course, I've just been around for the very tail end of that, but what a joy to celebrate, and we had a great time of worship. We had a baptism. We had beautiful song service, extra music from the choir, and good fellowship to time together then with the hamburgers. Thank you for all the deacons and wives pulling all that stuff together.
Yeah, not only did we celebrate the 87th anniversary, there was a bit of a surprise for the pastor.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, I know it's a big 65 birthday. It's kind of awesome.
Goodness.
But I'm old, but hey, we'd already had the staff get together, have a hamburger, and that was like Tuesday of last week. So I was shocked, not looking for that. And thank you for the cake and the many generous expressions of love to me and Anna. We just appreciate it so much.
Have you had the opportunity to go through the cards?
Yes, tons of beautiful sentiments, and thank you so much for everybody sharing all that beautiful stuff.
Oh, I got to ask you, you're talking about beautiful sentiments. Did you get to the youth card?
Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about.
It was not beautiful sentiment. It said, "Here's your birthday card," and on the inside it said, "Here's the inside." and all the kids signed it. Of course, they love you very much. They wanted to be the ones to get you to smile and laugh.
To be perfectly honest, I was laying on the couch, exhausted, wiped out. Bug was there. We had been to Houston to Boys and Girls Country also for their big spring festival, and we kept up with Bug running around in the heat of the day doing all kind of activities on the midway and games and stuff. So I was exhausted, and Anna was opening the cards and telling me about it, and I was like, So I'll go back and reread and appreciate all that stuff. But she did total up everything, and I was blown away by the many expressions of love. Thank you so much.
Last Wednesday we did the Sweet Tooth auction, and we have been talking about this thing time and time again here on the podcast, and we hope it went over well. And guess what? We have some statistics.
Frankly, I was not looking for that. I mean, even at 5-10 minutes till 6, I was looking around thinking, there's nobody here. It's not going to work. Some of my deacons had said Wednesday night might not be a good time, but tell them what happened.
We had 22 kids show up to help. We had 45 desserts show up to be auctioned, and we raised $2,750, and I'm going to say counting, because there are still people sending stuff in. And listen, just because you didn't make it to the Sweet Tooth auction does not mean that you missed your opportunity to give. You can still send in money and put youth fundraiser, put youth camp, something like that.
Brandon, you're sounding like one of those old-time TV evangelists. Keep those cards
Keep
and letters
the cards
coming.
and letters coming, and let the Lord bless you 10 times over.
Put your hand on the radio. Oh, wait a minute. Never the computer.
Yeah. Computer, yeah. This kind of a foregone type of deal there.
But look, that was amazing, and it was kind of fun. I actually got one of the cakes that I really wanted. I had to team up with Patsy Kemp in order to back her offering because she didn't want the whole thing. She was going to split it with me, so we doubled our money and we got it.
I'm going to tell you what, there's a lot of people that came expecting to get something, and when that money started going up, you could see the look on their face. It just turned to dismay.
You couldn't buy a plate of cookies for $25. That was crazy.
Now, normally I'd be frustrated if I walked into a place and could not get a plate of cookies for $25, but Wednesday night, it had me doing cartwheels up and down the hallway. You know, we had so many desserts that showed up that we couldn't keep the desserts in the actual room we were doing them in. As they were auctioned off, they had to be moved into the hallway to make room.
I saw you bringing in an extra table, and we were just crowded. It was really a great time of fellowship.
Let's talk about the baptism.
Ashley did a super job. This is so precious. You know, the joy that I had, because you may remember a couple of weeks ago I was saying I preached a sermon on salvation specifically because we had some cards that we took up during the Doubting Thomas thing. I asked anybody if you had a question, whatever. Nothing was off limits. You could write down whatever you wanted to ask. And I had a good, strong suspicion I knew who had written the one about not sure of my salvation. And so I preached that message with this individual in mind, and lo and behold, she didn't show up. So I was kind of bummed about that. But right before I did the baptism, Ashley shared with me that when I preached on salvation, she told Mimi later on that day as they were riding home, she said, you know, I think that message was just for me. God had been speaking to me. Of course, she was like, well, why didn't you go down? So they made their plans to come forward the next week because she had told her, I need to get saved. And, it just shows you never know who God is going to speak to when you give your testimony or when you share or when you get to preach. It's always a God thing. I can't engineer it, but God was at work, and it was awesome.
You talked about Philip and Ethiopian.
Yeah.
Philip just did what God said, and the Ethiopian was just looking for God, and somehow God connected the two of them.
And God had definitely put His words through me to Ashley's heart, and I had no idea about it until right before we did the baptism.
I think that is really, really cool. And hey, I wanted to say something. Yesterday, we did have some visitors for the first time. I know one of the youth kids, his name was Dalton. He was a really cool kid. Said that he knew some of the kids in our youth group. Dalton, you're always welcome here. And even some of the other ones that showed up, I got to sit by a really nice lady during the lunch that we had. If you came yesterday as a visitor that may have been looking for a church, come on back. There is a place for you for sure.
It was great to see so many guests, and like you said, it's just awesome anytime the Lord's house is full and we have a big fellowship time. But hey, we're here every Sunday.
See you right here next week on the MMBC Podcast.